Former hockey players, doctors, and educators were in Niagara Falls for the 3rd annual DSBN International Concussion Summit, a chance for those to get together and discuss how impactful a head injury can be.
We have 300 delegates. We were expecting 250 was a cap, but they just kept coming and wanted to come in. The interesting thing is 30 organizations from outside education, the health field, mainly health centers and physiotherapists, chiropractors, those kinds of things. We've had them from all across the province, from Windsor, Thunder Bay, Ottawa, all across the province. And I think there's even some from outside. Yes, we do have a couple that came in from BC. Quite interesting. It's an international summit.
You have gathered some impressive people here today. Tell me how you're able to get them here on board.
Well, one of the maybe impressive would be my brother, and he has been working on concussions and in the University of Ottawa for quite a while, and he has worked with most of these speakers from around the world, so that's how we made all the contacts.
6 years after he suffered a major concussion, former OHL player Ben Finelli is now an advocate for the issue through his Headstrong Foundation.
If someone, a person, athlete or not, goes through a head injury, they may not have an OHL team or community behind them, but I'm hoping Headstrong has the ability to give that support and that optimism that I feel is lacking in this whole discussion of concussion. I'm looking to be a little more positive with it and bring some more positive attitude to the whole discussion.
And Ben, how are you doing today?
It's been great. I just did my first talk and it was awesome. Had some great questions, great feedback. Some other people that were on the same page actually with ideas for Headstrong that we already have in mind, and it's cool to hear, and maybe get invited back next year if I do well enough, but also looking forward to the next talk right now. So.
Part of the focus of the conference was how to transition students back into the classroom after a head injury.
I think there's been a lot of interest on the concussion side. A lot of the literature up until 10 years ago was really concentrating on the moderate and severe injuries, which is important, and that's a very important area because those struggles and barriers to community reintegration are profound. But in the last 10 years, I think we've realized that there's a lot of other kind of cognitive reintegration problems, getting back in school, getting back into the community, continuing with your career in an efficient and proficient way that we didn't really recognize, didn't really acknowledge. And now we're trying to find out, well, you know what, maybe these guys need some support as well.
Sean Pronger gave the closing address. He saw a dramatic rise in concussions in his 16-year hockey career.
Every big hit isn't a concussion, but any contact you could get a concussion. So I think that the protocols in place are a lot better and can identify guys that may be concussed that they may not even know that. Because I know when I played, there's many guys that got it, but you weren't aware of some of the symptoms to look for, where now guys are.
Well, there's also the awareness that people didn't realize that there's now an accumulative effect.
Right, and I think that's the scariest part is that after your first one, it just gets easier and worse, and the effects can be long-lasting. And you don't want, you play the game, you play it hard, but when you're done, you want to be able to kind of enjoy the rest of your life. And I think that because of what's happened to some guys, people realize now that the effects of concussions are long-lasting and can affect your life.
In Niagara Falls, reporting for The Source, I'm Lori Taraba.